Hello and welcome everybody, I'm your host Gavin, and today we are just finishing up with Sonic Generations. I was so glad I got to play this for you guys last week, you know, just the way it was.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it was. It's a great game. This port's kind of wonky. So hello everybody in chat.
Hello.
Hey Artie, how you doing today?
Doing good. Happy Halloween, friends.
Happy Christmas. Oh, I forgot, guys. I forgot. I brought my Halloween costume with me. What do you guys think? Good Halloween costume?
I love it.
Yeah.
Karmic says music too loud.
Music too loud. Music's been turned down. Okay. Well.
Zeke says 10 out of 10 costume.
I know, right? We're gonna keep that in the corner there for today. Just for now. So, yeah, we finished up Sonic Generations. What do you mean I didn't stream it? It didn't change anything. There's no reason to stream it. I don't care if this adventure costume or this Sonic Jam costume is different. The stages aren't different. The red rings aren't in different spots. They removed the ghost red rings.
Chow! There's Chow!
Yeah, and they're placed, like, really, really dumbly. And there's no reason to go after them. Because guess what, guys? Guess what?
What?
I'm gonna be honest. I think this version of the game is emulated, a little bit broken, and all of these Chow are complete nonsense. They're cute nonsense.
Catch them all.
I did catch them all. I got all 54. So there you go.
Which Chow's your favorite?
Bagman. The Incredible Bagman is my favorite.
That one is really cute. I enjoyed that one too.
So we got Zeke and chat, Karmic. Of course, we've got you, Artie. And Wolfinator Gaming says hello. But yeah, no, that's this. I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope everybody enjoyed the little hiatus I had. I was working diligently. I got sick twice. I am still sick. Guess what? That's just great, right?
Oh.
What did everybody think about the Tetris video before we get to the actual gameplay?
I thought it was blocky. And I thought, now see, one of my friends, their Sona's name is Alexi, so I'm like listening to you, watching this video, and I just keep seeing this bunny pop into my head, like every time you mentioned Alexi.
Yeah, sorry, Alexei Patronov is the guy who made Tetris. Also, they removed this Genesis here that played Sonic 1, and if you have this game and played it on an Xbox Series or an Xbox One, like the original generations, if you tried to play the Genesis right here, it crashes your Xbox. So I think they removed it because it didn't freaking work.
Oh no.
So, like I said, I think this is an emulated version of the game with some added content, and there's not much here. Anyways, alright, well...
Demon Dog says hoi in chat. Hoi, Demon Dog.
Hello, person that's sitting behind me in the same room that I am. Alright, so Artie, since we're going to be playing Shadow Generations, I think this is where... This is the part of the game where the game is so good that we've actually got to take you out of this.
I can't handle the for real though. I promised my younger brother, his birthday's next week, yay, that I'd wait to play, because we both want to play Shadow Generations, but it released so close to his birthday. He's like, can you wait like a week to play this with me? And I'm like, fine. He's like, now don't get spoiled by anything. So I'm gonna have to leave the stream, because otherwise I'm gonna have to face his wrath.
And honestly, it would be really cool. We could do like half of the game as Terios and stuff, but I really don't want to spoil it for you. I don't want to get you in trouble. So
I'll be good. Well, if there's another episode, then you can just drag me back.
Of course,
hopefully.
Of course. If so, I might be a bit busy next week. So some of you guys have heard I got pulled into a game jam. So I'm working on a video game half the time, along with the fursuits and the videos. And oh god, my life is a mess.
You are living the life of a creative.
I'm living the life of something. So I've already beaten this game 100%, but we're not going to be touching that file for this one. We're going to go a new game. So Artie,
this is my cue to exit.
Thank you so much
Bye,
for stopping
chat.
in, chat. Artie.
Bye.
Happy Halloween, Artie.
Happy Halloweener.
Alright, chat, let's get into Shadow Generations. Shadow Generations is great. Also, as far as the image of the costume goes, we're gonna take it off now. It's goofy, it's fun. I just drew that for funsies.
Can we wake him up now? Can I meet him?
I believe so, yes. It is time to awaken the ultimate life. Welcome to the world.
So how's everybody in chat doing?
The hedgehog.
Everybody having a swell day? Happy Halloweens. Merry Christmas. Absolute crisis.
Shadow, this is Rouge. Do you copy?
Shadow here. I copy.
Are you...
So this half of the game is running.
Orc?
Actually, I can wait. I can wait till the
Arrived at the
cutscene's done.
space colony an hour ago.
Well, you're missing the birthday party. I hope you're planning on being here.
I already told you. Gun detected an unusual biosignature aboard the Ark. I'm not leaving until I eliminate any possible threat.
There's free food.
Here it is. All the darkness and craziness.
There.
So this game should have had 3 modes in it, but I'll get to how that's even possible in the first place. So this part's right before the time meter gets to everything. Of course, my controller's battery's almost dead. I've got to charge it. But Shadow plays a lot like Sonic. We got the homing attack. We've got a double jump, which is nice, because Sonic doesn't have a double jump in this game. And, yeah. We'll get new moves along the way. There's multiple different paths. In fact, there's probably the most amount of paths here possible. The kinetic flow in this game is out of this world. That up there is actually something I want to talk about. So those are collectibles. In each of the stages there are 3 collectibles, and if you collect all 3 of them, they act as keys, so that way then you can unlock treasure chests and get more unlockables and stuff. I actually managed to get all of these. It took me a while to do. Honestly, I'm really glad I'm getting to play this again for you guys, because Shadow Generations is actually the part of this game that I thought was the most well-balanced and well-polished part of this game. In fact, I had a lot of opinions and a lot of worries coming into this game. Not quite as many as I say I had with like Forces or whatnot, but I still had worries. I still had my doubts over what this game is going to be. Just because going back to Shadow the Hedgehog after so long is a bit tricky, especially knowing where the previous rating team took Shadow the Hedgehog, which was to some not great places. They boiled his character down. They rounded off his edges till he was just Edgy the Hedgy, and I've been making that joke since forever. But I'm glad to say Shadow is back for this. They didn't skimp here. But yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, we'll be playing through most of Shadow Generations today. I don't know if we're gonna get to all, but I'm not calling this part 1 or part 2 or whatever. We're just gonna kind of go until I'm done, until I feel like I'm done. Because, yeah, not feeling the best, but I'm still trying my best. I hope everybody, once again, if you haven't already seen the hour-long Tetris video I made, go watch that. That is one of the things that I am the most proud of on this channel right now. Alright, so we got Artificial Chaos and everything. We're really harkening back to SA2. For those who don't know, I played through the entirety of SA2 on this channel, and while I had fun with it, I had my gripes, I had my thoughts. But for those who are worried, I do think SA2 is good. I don't think it's bad. I know some people think it's one of those games. But, no, I like SA2, and I enjoyed my time with Shadow the Hedgehog, because the controls and gameplay there were just phenomenal when I was really worried from what everybody was telling me. But hello, Nelios? I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry if I messed that up, but welcome. We just got all of those collectibles, so I get to show off a little bit more of the overworld. And right here's where the Time Eaters attack Sonic, so we're gonna meet up with Sonic's side of the timeline eventually, at some point. I hope my audio balance is okay, because I know my husband said the audio was a little off, but alright, I think the air control here is a lot nicer than in Sonic Generations, which I feel like lends more credence to the fact that I think the Sonic Generation side of this game is just emulated. I just have gripes with Sonic Generations. Shadow Generations, on the other hand, this side of the game was virtually perfect. I wanted more of the game. And I know we'll be coming back to it when the Sonic 3 DLC comes out, because who doesn't want to see me play as the Keanu the Hedgehog? I was actually confident that I could do that, so I think that says everything about the controls here. I am confident in my ability to move. I don't know if I'm going to get all S ranks, but I'm going to try. I thought this movement was kind of neat. The fact that you can't boost, you can't double jump, you got one jump and that's it. On this,
The promised time will arrive once more.
I like that with Shadow, it doesn't matter how many times you get hit. As long as you were fast enough to get the S rank, that's all that matters. In Sonic Generations, if you
Your fate.
if you died at all in any of the levels, but yet still made the time, you'll only get an A rank. You won't get an S rank. So here it's a little different. And just like that. We weren't directly attacked by Time Eater, but the timeline's a little bit of a mess. We got the emblem, and I got the S rank, it looks like. No, I was off by 16 seconds. My bad. So Chad, I'd love to hear your opinions on this game. Your opinions on Shadow as a whole, as a character. I'm sure we'll have some divisive parts about Maria and whatnot.
The fake chaos
That's what I thought was
tails
interesting.
made to foil the Doctor's plans. Even I have a hard time distinguishing
Good way to
between the
bring
two
that
of
back into the plot hole, into the plot. I was kind of hoping that the Shadow from this one was going to be from later on in the game. Like, he wasn't going to be from Generations. He was going to be Shadow from Frontiers, like, later on down. But instead, it's just the Shadow from this game. So, this is the same Shadow we see in Generations. Somehow, it's not really explained how Doomai comes back. I mean, he kinda does, kinda doesn't. It's a little odd. I'll have to talk about it later, once we get there. Honestly, I have my theories about this game. I have my theories about the characters behind it. Alright, so now we're gonna go to Act 2. Shadow's the favorite character. Oh, I just said that as a joke. I prefer a little bit of silence when it comes to streams and whatnot. Just so I can focus on what's going on. Unless you plan on being here throughout most of the time. The only reason Artie's like kind of an exception is, well, because we planned that out in advance. I used to have it so we'd have co-hosts randomly shuffle in and out, and I still do from time to time, but I like it when everything kind of stays consistent. It's easier on commentary, and it stops people from asking a million questions like, who's this, who's that? I've also had I've had people in the past who are like, oh, they're down to do it, they're down to stay the whole time, and then they end up playing on their Switch throughout half the stream, and then nobody has any clue what's going on in the video. That's been a long time ago, though. I've set up a lot of, like, professionalism in between then and now. What's that? Yes. So all I gotta do there is hold right to walk up the pillar. Go around that. Raccoon Studio says, I am all of me. Alright. I think I know who that is. Been a while. Seems you've changed your name on YouTube. Maybe you're somebody else, who knows? All I know is I have you listed as mods, so it means I trust you in some way. I'm missing all the shots I take.
Chaos control! Out of my way.
I Am All of Me is in this game as a musical track you can unlock. I believe there's a brand new version of it that's here. Yeah, I know who you are, SML. How you been? My life's been a bit of a mess, but I've been here. There's actually a whole bunch of tricks with the Chaos Spear that I'm gonna have to show off in this game. Chaos Spear can actually help you keep your momentum rolling. And right here's where we get our first look at a Doom Power. Although this one doesn't stick with us because we don't get it in the hub world. Yeah, I've been working a lot. My work-life balance is a mess, but I'm going. I made 54 for 50 some, almost 60 fursuits in 6 months. We're just parts of them. So on average, I came out with the average of it's roughly 2 full fursuits every single month for 6 months straight, and I somehow still managed to get a Tetris video out yesterday. So to say that I have been hardworking is an understatement. And yet I still haven't managed to do everything I've wanted to get done. Chaos Control also slows down the timer. It is very important to use to actually get the S rank in these stages. It'll help cut down a lot of the time you need. So basically, whenever you get it, if you know there's some enemies coming up next, it's really easy to just click the button and go from there. Like I said, though, I'm not going to be aiming for all S ranks just because it's kind of challenging, and I don't think I can do it. At least not yet. I haven't even done it on my main file. I only have 2 out of the 12.
It's not something I should normally be able to do, yet it felt natural. What could be causing
The cutscene quality here has risen quite a bit. I was showing some of these cutscenes off to my roommates, and they were very much convinced that these were trailer shots and not cutscenes. Oh gosh, you should probably, probably take a nap then, I smell.
Yeah?
Glad you're here to watch, but...
She's gone. I'm seeing things. Maria!
I say the cutscene quality has gotten risen, and then they do this one, where it's like a flashback, but it's done as a sketch, a motion comic sketch, which isn't bad, but I hope that if they do an SA2 remake, that they do fully animate it.
I need to stay focused. Deal with the problem at hand, not chase dreams.
Shadow's having to convince himself that Maria's not real. The Maria isn't real, it can't hurt you. And with that, we get our first emblem. And we're going to take that over here to this and get our first Doom power.
Calls to me.
Happy Halloween, by the way. Yeah, happy Halloween to you too. Yeah, no, I got pulled into a game jam a couple weeks ago. I'm doing art for that. I've got a video coming out on how to make fursuits next month. I've got most of the footage recorded. I just need to do audio and editing. That's gonna take a while. And then I've got a full fursuit that I'm working on next month. So now the Doom Spear can lock onto multiple targets, up to 5, and you can release them to get them all to go at once.
New power.
And right here we have Omega.
Observation.
He has no idea where he's at, or why he's here, or why he's even functioning. And then, just like that. This is a machine part. We won't be getting all of them, but I'll explain what they do later on. Trust me, it's underwhelming. And with those parts that we got, we can unlock this chest here. And now we have some screenshots from Sonic X. There are some concept work from Sonic X. Yeah, Sega owns pretty much all of Sonic X outside of some of the characters, I think. So a lot of the art for Sonic X is here in this game. This chest is a lore chest. We'll unlock small snippets of Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes, Sonic 06, Shadow the Hedgehog, and I believe Sonic Forces. Just recapping those games and Shadow's involvement in them. Here's some renders. I'm not showing where all the stuff is. Don't worry. There's plenty to look around and find. I just wanted to showcase a little bit. It seems like it's a little too easy to get these. Trust me, these gears are super hard to find later on down the game. The hub world also looks very small and empty here. Trust me, it gets filled out. For now, we just can't see everything. Because one, Sonic hasn't run through most of Generations yet, and you haven't run through most of the hub worlds to clear this one out either, so... Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Well, I'm not playing Rise of Lyric right now. If you jump down there, there's stuff down there, but not right now. At the moment, it's just kind of a pit. Yeah, there's what I mean by the Doom Spear will carry most of the momentum. It feels nice to be playing a new Sonic game again. The last one we did was Frontiers, and that's ended up really, really well. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Frontiers, and the fact that this is running on the same engine just proves even more to me that this game engine is super versatile. It's also the best part of this game, so if you're looking to pick up Sonic X Shadow, I would certainly say the Shadow portion is better than the Sonic Generation portion. That's my opinion, that's my thought. I just don't think the Sonic Generation portion runs quite as well as, say, the original Xbox 360 version of the game running on a 360. I'll give it to you if it's running on a Xbox One. Like, yeah, this might run better, but with the way it is right now, it's just a bit out of it. One more thing to note about this game is it's been getting a lot of very, very high marks. I noticed that IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, which IGN's kind of a goofy topic when it comes to the Sonic franchise. A lot of people like to clown on them because they don't like Sonic at all, but when they get high marks, it's a little difficult for the Sonic fan base to handle. It's actually a headline, like the day before the game came out, it was like, Sonic fans don't know how to feel after IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, and I'm like, yeah, that adds up. I mean, you trash a franchise enough when they do come out with games that are, you know, pretty good, and you get one that's like blows them out of the water, all of a sudden, yeah, you won't know how to feel. But Rail Canyon here's from Sonic Heroes. If you've never played Sonic Heroes before, what are you doing? Go play Sonic Heroes. I know what I'm looking for in terms of a Sonic game, and that's just mostly good controls. And Shadow Generations here has some of the best that I've built in the entire franchise. He may not move quite as fast as Sonic, but honestly, with some of the tricks you can pull off, you might even be able to go faster than Sonic if you're good enough at it. But yeah, I just like the way this game feels. Because the rails, yeah, the rails are a bit. The rails are a bit messed up in the original. But that, once again, that's the original. The original game, though, ran on SA2's engine, and they just cranked the speed up a ton. And they didn't have the manpower to work on any of the level design of the controls, really. It was just make Sonic go faster and get it running on the PlayStation 2 as fast as you can, because we have to meet the deadline for Xbox, PS2, and GameCube, or else we can't release games on PS2. And that was it. That was the only reason Sonic Heroes had to meet a deadline.
I'm getting answers one way or another.
So I'm glad that for this game, you know, that there's no mandate like that. You can just come out day and date and still be a good game on all platforms. But it really did hurt Sonic Heroes as a whole. Them not being able to refine the controls. I would love to see a remake of Sonic Heroes with proper fixes for some of the stuff. I do like that the Dumai messes with Shadow here. He changes the world to be the cityscape, but it's all warped. And then we come right back to Rail Canyon, almost like none of that ever happened. The answer is that none of that did happen, so. Alright, so that capsule there is an energy boost. Whenever you get these, be sure to use it, because it'll let you skip over parts of the level. It'll let you freeze time for just a moment. Just like that.
All right.
We're going to be using it kind of strategically here in a bit. So you land here. Right before he's about to hit you, just tap it. You just need to get far enough along the rail. You can't do anything. I was trying to get on the top path. I've only ever been able to do that once, by the way. And just like that, there's the final emblem. Once again, won't be getting all of them, but yeah. Easy peasy. 14 seconds left. Dang. Maybe if I would have used the ability a little more, I could have cut down. Just like Sonic Generations colors up part of the stage. I do like that. The emblem seems to go up to the Dumai, so we're probably helping the bad guy in some way. At this point, though, it's a little bit concerning. So I talked about the bolts earlier. Right here's where we're going to spend those bolts, but we don't have the person to talk to see what they're doing. Just gonna see here. What's in this one? More Sonic X! I just keep picking the ones with Sonic X in it. I don't know how. Not doing it on purpose, I swear. Shadow the Hedgehog. There's actually no stages from Shadow the Hedgehog in this game, which I feel is a missed opportunity. There's stages from SA2, there's stages from Sonic Frontiers, there's pretty much the entire soundtrack from Shadow the Hedgehog, but anything from any stages from Shadow the Hedgehog just aren't here. I know that the Shadow the Hedgehog is kind of a mixed game in terms of people's thoughts. Like, Casey hates it, I like it. And 100% people who do 100% versions of the game, runs of that game, well, they're a different breed. I got nothing for that. Yeah, me and my husband actually went through and started writing a review for the entirety of Sonic X, comparing it to Sonic Prime, and we've been a little bit preoccupied and haven't been able to finish that review yet. I went and bought the entire box set of for Sonic Prime, and or the entire box set for Sonic X, just to give that show a proper fair due diligence. Is gonna be for a second video that came out this year, but well, Fursuit's called, and I need to get those done. I'm hoping next year gets a little easier. If I make some, if we can make some more sales, I will be happy. We've kind of gotten to the point now where. A lot of the fursuit work that we've done is.
This is the ultimate power.
Where's that one? A lot of the fursuit work we've done is a lot of what we have to show for the last 6 months. I know the YouTube channel looks like it's been dead for 6 months, but I promise you, I have been working non-stop. Much to the detriment of my own health. do refrain from mentioning weapons in the chat. Not my rule, that's YouTube, not me. I couldn't care one way or another. I know it's kind of just part of the vernacular. I know it's they're power-ups in the game. The fun fact about that, by the way, for the what you mentioned, was that the dev team actually did know that that was incorrect. They just thought it looked cooler, so they went with it. And I think that's the more interesting part.
Oh, hello, Shadow. Please don't smash us to bits.
Yeah, just like that, Orbot and Cubot are here, and I saw some people freak out about them.
Hello.
No, we're not building a weapon.
No.
No. They're building a rocket, so they can break out of the white space.
Yep.
So, I have collected all 80 of these parts. It builds a cuckoo clock shaped like a rocket, and a small flicky comes out of the top. That's it. That's all it does. They reference Rivals 2 a lot in this game as well. I really wish they would have done a stage from it. I've read through the entirety of Gerald's journal. I have a bunch of fun tidbits about Maria now, including the fact that she's the one who made Shadow's shoes. Like, she designed them and Gerald built them. We got to see what Eggman and Maria's fathers looked like. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. And then based on what we know of Eggman. Alright, I don't have that ability yet. I gotta go up the slow way. So based on what we know of Maria, Shadow, and Shadow being 50 years ago on the Ark and whatnot, we can roughly determine that Eggman is at least in his 40s. So, alright, we're going to use our second key here to get a slightly different homing attack. By the way, I still have not been for those of you who are watching this after the Tetris video that came out, Tesh has still not sold. If you're interested at all in that Fursuit, please reach out to me. We can just kind of launch the enemy, and then we get a circle to warp on over to him. And they do like to respawn, so... Now here's how you angle it. If you see something like that where it looks a little fishy. Here's the boss gate. Send him up there. I'll have to showcase how to actually properly do that real quick, but didn't want to send me up there. We've just unlocked a couple of challenges. I don't know if I'm going to be doing all of them. There are a good number. There we go. Here's a music chest. First of this. Sonic's Adventure 2 music. So when you interact with a chest, they appear here on the map. Red ones are ones that you weren't able to unlock but found, and white ones are ones that you've already collected. They do not show up naturally. You have to hunt around the overworld to find them first. This can become pretty tedious if you're trying to get all of them like I did, but they're so fun to find once you do, and once you do find one or two, you'll end up kind of catching on to how they're hidden. Dash Ring Rush. Collect a set number of dash rings. So, for the challenges here, it gives you the exact time that you need to make for S rank. And all you've got to do is actually just, well, do it. We've reached the time. Haven't quite. There we go. Didn't quite have enough of that.
All right.
The director for the Sonic movies worked on the intro for the game. Yes, he did. A lot of the animators who originally directed and worked with Sega on their opening animations and whatnot from around that time went on to work in Hollywood, and now they're working on both the games and the movies again, which is nice, which is why the cutscene animations here are quite a bit better than they were previously. So all you gotta do, just like in Sonic Generations Classic, to get oh, I guess you do have to get both. My bad, so we will be showing off all the challenges, minus the extra difficult ones. The music notes there will give you an item, and all you gotta do is get to them after you ring the bell, but they'll be unlocked and ready to go for whenever you want. But there's 4 challenges for each of these. There's 2 extra ones on each stage. After you unlock hard mode, but we'll just be doing the normal challenges here. I've already done all of the super difficult ones. And of course, just like in the main stages, there are 3 keys to unlock the chests hidden around. Yeah. Fursuit idea pre-made, inspired by Mega Man X Mavericks. Also, the game audio is desynced. I don't know about what to do about the desync problem. No, that's not. It's an issue on my end. I don't. What you're trying to do is make excuses for tech. It has something to do with my capture card probably overheating. The audio desync issue isn't really something I can handle right at the moment. I'd have to unplug my capture card and fight with the darn thing. Alright, here's a fairly fun challenge. Honestly, I really do think that because they redid all the assets for a lot of these new stages, I feel like if they wanted to do a brand new remake of a Sonic game, they could. And they wouldn't have that much of a fight with a lot of the assets. They could just reuse what they've created here for Shadow Generations. And most fans would not have an issue with it. So you go on the flying. There's that. I don't think I showed off where all the emblems are. You thought that was just you? No, that one's on me. That one I think is my capture card desyncing, if it's because it's desynced from the game itself. On my end, everything sounds and looks fine, but from your guys' end, it might not be. And that's just how I have to capture the audio, or at least for now. I haven't been able to work on updating the rig at all, so I'm still running with this cheap capture card that I got from a while ago. We originally had plans this year to upgrade my entire setup. The idea was, when Brent moved out, was to work on setting up the entirety of the rig, get a new capture card that functioned a little better, one that I wouldn't have to fight with quite as much, but ended up having to help out a friend, and then we worked on fursuits for a long time and spent way more money than I really had. Kind of broken the bank on everything, just trying to get things done. But at least things are done, and hopefully now by the start of next year we can actually prepare to do some of the things that I wanted to do for this year. I'm a little annoyed that I have to push all of my ideas back that I wanted to do for everybody, but so be it. It happens. Since we've done all the challenges now, we've colored in the rest of this, we can get the keys. You do need all 4 keys in order to unlock the next section. Sonic's only got to collect 3. He's only got to do 1 challenge each. Here, Shadow's got to do all of them, so the game is going to be about the same length if you were just doing a standard playthrough of if you did a standard playthrough of Shadow and a standard playthrough of Sonic without having to get everything, they'd probably be about average, but Sonic's challenges, the sheer number of them, makes that game so much longer. Shadow's just going that fast. The gameplay's way ahead of the audio. Once again, it's how I have to capture it, I'm sorry. It's actually one of the things that I need most importantly right now. If anybody has wants a fursuit commission, I can get it done before the end of the year. If they want artwork, I can try and get it done before the end of the year. I've just got a lot on my plate, and donations are welcome. PayPal is in the description. For those of you who want some arts, just 1 ring. Just 1 ringy wingy. I had a whole joke on this stage that I made. I won't be doing it here because I really don't feel like losing half my audience. Once again, sorry about the audio desync, I can't do much about it. They got me before I could do it. Let's try it again.
This is the ultimate power.
All I gotta do is jump and jump, homing attack, and we did it. You're off, gotta work. Well, hope you have fun. Happy Halloween. Hope you dropped a like. Thanks for watching. Once again, we're gonna be going for a little while. I've got time. I know at some point I need to have a discussion over the the upcoming game jam that I'm working on with friends. I'm working on art assets for a game. I'm actually very excited. It's been a number of years since I've worked on a game. This time I'm working on it with some friends. So Wasn't expecting that. Probably can't handle it in terms of workload, but I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna probably end up focusing on that a little more than the YouTube within the next month. But I mean, it'll be fine. I'll have videos out. I'll have streams out. It'll be good content. I do wish my throat wasn't quite as sore as it is now. Alright, there's the second one. I probably should have waited. Just like that, stage is done. It's red. Alright, whenever the chat wants to speak and whatnot, my main focus is going to be on playing the game, hanging out, having a good time. I'll do my best to talk, add commentary, and information here. The game's so new, it's a little difficult, but I guess I've done so much Sonic content on the channel before. Sometimes it gets a little difficult to come up with new things to talk about in terms of this franchise. So, the reason it's called Sonic X Shadow Generations is because Shadow Generations is its own game. It's running on a completely different engine than Sonic Generations, which is good. It's not just Shadow in Sonic Generations is playable now, like they did with some of the stuff in Frontiers and whatnot. It shows they actually cared. It was off by 0.50 of a second. Yep. 0.5. But yeah, no. A lot of what's here is good. A lot of the stage design. I've heard some YouTubers who are more straight just Nintendo fans rage on this game as of late. I don't know who all has heard or seen this, but like people like Arlo have talked about this game and then said that the game is jank because the level design isn't just hold forward, which was very odd for me at least. I've heard a number of people have criticisms like that where they're oh so confused by the fact that Sonic isn't just hold forward and go, when it's never been just hold forward and go. Which doesn't make any sense to me. Sonic as a whole is an interesting franchise to analyze from that viewpoint. Alright, got more of that stage done. Got the key, and I believe now we are ready to go to question, which I cannot get to. Luckily I can warp over here to Rope Canyon though, and that'll speed us up our time a whole bunch. So this enemy here is meant to be a quick way to get to the top. Just like that, 3 keys in, and we can begin our first boss, which I believe is the Bio Lizard from Sonic Adventure 2. So who else is ready for Sonic Adventure? Who else is ready for the Sonic Adventure, or Sonic 3 movie? I'm kind of excited. I'm definitely more excited for it than, well, let's say a lot of other movies. I wanted to watch Venom 3. I haven't had time to yet. I think that's out. I heard that was out on the 25th. I know the thing to say about this is that I know in multiple different countries so far, Sonic Shadow Generations has outsold a lot of different games. And I know one of the games that it almost outsold was like one of the FIFA sports titles, and it almost outsold Call of Duty, which is crazy.
I need to target the life support.
If you know anything about Call of Duty, you know that's a series that sells well no matter what, because there's a certain demographic that plays it that they don't have much time for video games, but they know their friends are gonna buy this. They played it in high school. But Sonic Generations almost knocked it out of the park because Shadow's here, more people want to play it. Alright, now here's the neat part for this fight.
You think those will stop me? Mutation. Yeah. I already know your weaknesses.
Top there. Whack him up. Come on down. Grows a new arm. I use Chaos Control just to stop the timer. Give myself a little bit more time up there by the head. Wants to go again. Go for the last hit. Alright, now we're on the final phase of the fight. I gotta wonder, how many people were expecting the Bio-Lizard to be this agile for this fight? We also learn a lot more about the Bio-Lizard in this game.
Stop struggling. You cling to a cruel fate. I'll show you which of us is the true ultimate life form. Ultimate relent. I'll hit it all back.
Once again, sorry if I'm a little quieter than normal, folks, or a little bit less talkative than normal.
Chaos control.
I'm not feeling myself as of late. So I've been a little sick, under the weather. May you say? I just after I got done with all the work on the Tetris video, I needed to sleep. We got done with that at 7 in the morning the day I posted it, and it was supposed to be done a week prior, but I managed to get sick that week as well. Little worried it's COVID or something, but just like that, we got a new emblem, and now we have to go find a new Doom piece. course, Doom's Eye is not looking too happy about it. But a new part of the hub world has opened up. While this is going on, I'm going to be right back, folks. I need to get a drink.
Finest creation? Black Doom. I destroyed you once. I will do it again.
Alright.
Show yourself. We'll finish this here and now.
You are not ready yet.
Made it back, folks.
Are not ready yet. Once you have been perfected, then we will have our reckoning.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how well today was gonna go in terms of viewership or anything like that. There won't be a short tomorrow. There will be one Monday. Still gotta edit. But I'm back. Got a drink. I wish he would have said something different for each of these, but I guess it makes sense. There's actually a couple of things I actually have gripes with in this game in terms of the voice cast, but it has... some of it's just repetitiveness with the lines. I feel like they could have done a couple more takes. But now we've got the Doom Surf. It's like the Silver Surfer, but not. We can ride on a manta ray. Hit L1 or R1 to zip left and right. Jump into the air. And here we've got our first new level. Kingdom Valley from Sonic 06, or Sonic the Hedgehog. We did a full playthrough of Sonic 06. It's one of my favorite playthroughs we've ever done on this channel. I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with 06. I still think they should remake 06. And if you are in total agreement, then go scream it. Go yell at them. Go yell at Sega to make it. Because guess what? They've got the assets here that look incredible for Kingdom Valley. They've got great assets for Crisis City, for Sonic, the Sonic Generation side of this game. Feels like they've got most of the game basically worked on at that point. Because you can reuse Kingdom Valley's assets for hub worlds. For one of the hub worlds, you can reuse it for some of the parts of it. Just there's just all sorts of stuff you can do. I'm just way too much of a fan of this game, of Sonic 06 in general. I really did believe that game was better than people had given it credit for in terms of gameplay and playability. Maybe not so much story, but I mean, Ian Flynn did some work on the Sonic Generation side of things. It wasn't much, but it fixed some of the more awkward parts of the dialogue. In some people's cases, they thought they made it more awkward, but I don't know. I think it went fine. So as you can see, we can't really boost on the squid. got all these launch pads, and as long as you go and move yourself through the stage properly, it'll be a-okay. So the original plan with the stream today was going to be to do this with my husband, who would be recovering from his dental stuff, but all of that got rescheduled. So he's in at work today, and our original thought was to play through the Sonic Generation side of things again, but then when we found out there really wasn't much new, it was Shadow or Bust, so we're just doing Shadow. If you want my thoughts on Sonic Generations, go watch my Sonic Generations playthrough. Alright. I do like that there's Doom aliens in some of the stages, like they're infiltrating the past. Even though Shadow does not remember this stage. He does not remember any of Kingdom Valley. That gets brought up later on in the story, that some of the stuff hasn't happened yet, or that he straight up doesn't remember it. But I'll talk about that when we get to a certain somebody's boss fight, and I also get to bring up a really cool fact I learned about it. So I learned that here recently that you can actually jump over that part there and land on one of the spires by using the Doom Spear to keep your momentum flowing. There's actually just a whole bunch about the movement tech in this game that I did not know. Looking at about 3 minutes here. That's not too bad. How's the chat going? Everybody enjoying this so far?
This is the ultimate power. There.
I probably should not be streaming while I'm sick. It's probably both hindering my commentary performance as well as my gameplay here, but anything to keep the channel alive. Alright, I'm gonna go back in here, play Act 2 real quick. I like this more side-scrolling section here for this. I actually had one of my roommates ask me, has Shadow ever been playable in 2D before? And my first thought was, yeah, Rivals 1 and 2 for PSP. And I completely missed the fact that Frontier Forces exists, and that there were 3 levels with Shadow in it. But there, he's just a reskin of Sonic, so... And he's mostly a reskin of Sonic in here, as well as Rivals 1 and 2. But I mean, he's got his own abilities there, and he feels more unique. It's not just, oh, we swapped some animations.
Chaos control. Yeah.
Got the wall jump here. Honestly, the 2D sections, I've seen a lot of people really praise them for being like well-designed levels with multiple different paths and things to do in them. And I have to agree. I think I think they're rather good. Are they my favorite? No. I do think that Sonic Frontiers does the whole 3D style a bit better, just because it's a wild scope on that. But I do think that this having a tighter precision on what it's wanting to do and what it's wanting to handle is still really admirable, because it's not trying to do more than it can handle. It's not reaching for the stars. It's not going for the moon and then landing in the stars. It's more or less aiming for the arc and landing on the moon, which, I mean, I suppose that's okay.
Chaos control.
These are some of the toughest Sonic stages that I've played, though. I know that it looks like I'm breezing through it, but trust me, I struggled for quite a while with these stages. At least on my initial playthrough. That. OS rank. And now Big the Cat is here. Because he wasn't here with Sonic's playthrough, so he had to be here somewhere.
Hello.
I've got quite a bit to show you.
Name's Shadow, isn't it?
Who doesn't love Big the Cat? I gotta know. Everybody in chat when we played Frontiers was freaking out that Big the Cat was there, and then we learned... I learned later on, after playing the DLC for Sonic Frontiers, and I actually beat that, that Big the Cat is not Big the Cat in that game. He's just a projection of Sonic's memories, because Big the Cat lives rent-free in Sonic's mind. So, Big's looking for Froggy.
Sure is peaceful here.
You never tried? That's too bad. Would you like to learn how? What? You're not interested? That's too bad. So, we later learn from from talking to Big, if you talk to him later on after the next story section opens up, that Big the Cat was on the Ark during the events of Sonic Adventure 2. His cameo cutscenes, if you mash the buttons in Sonic Adventure 2, are canon. I found that out, laughed about it, and then proceeded to go, that is amazing. Because I believe that some of those cutscenes were actually taken out of, it was either a later version or an earlier version of SA2. I just think it's rather funny that through the writing here, they've managed to say, no, that's canon. Big was really there. And now we're at some of the best levels in this game. I think a lot of people are going to agree with me here that the Sonic Forces part of this game is one of the best parts of this game. They fixed a lot of the level design problems. I don't know if anyone's going to disagree with me here. I just loved the way these stages turned out. I know I hated Forces. I really did, but look, already there's a secondary path you can go to. You can go down low, you can go up high, you can go on the water spouts.
This is the ultimate power.
I misused that, but if you fall, you don't have to worry about it. You can just use the enemies. You don't have to hit him, you can just go over top. My problem with the stages with the Forces stages here are my same problems with the Forces stages in Forces, is that it ends too quickly. I know that sounds like such a weird oversight to say. It's like, what? Are you praising Sonic Forces? It's like, yeah, kinda, sorta, just a little bit. Not so much the aesthetics or the music, but the level design here is great.
Control.
I'm gonna take the side route here because I really like showing this off. Now we're on the bridge, and this was broken up into its own. The bridge part was broken up to its own like boss fight in Sonic Forces, but here it's just part of a stage. We got the neatness that is these egg robos. These Death Egg robots.
Let's do this. This is the ultimate power. All right.
Alright, we got the energy for it, and all I gotta do is go up here.
This is the ultimate power.
Alright. Yeah, no, I just love the stage here. The design, the dynamics. Then we go through this thin corridor, upwards, and you think that you're just gonna see more of the stage, and then it switches it up into, like, the Doom section. Act 1 is always gonna have a Doom section, and that's how they differentiate Act 1 from Act 2, but aside from 2D and 3D, but man, this was neat. But I love the Forces part of it. Just, I don't know, something about doing something with that part of the Sonic, like, lore. Something people, like, obviously didn't enjoy quite as much as Frontiers, or, say, Sonic Adventure. And just doing something with it that made it work. I don't know, that just put a smile on my face. Like, they understood that perhaps Forces isn't the strongest game narratively. It isn't the strongest game in terms of gameplay or level design. But then here, it's played up the way the game should have been. And that is neat to me. The fact that Shadow Generations made me actually put Sonic Forces back in my console just to give it a second look. And I went, yeah, no, the level design's better in Shadow. Dang, they did a good job there. Of making it feel like Forces did a better job than I honestly remembered it being. Like, my memory of Sonic Forces was, the game's not good. I didn't have fun, I didn't enjoy it. But Shadow Generations was able to make me want to put the game back in, just to double check myself, because the level design in this game is so good. Maybe it copy pasted somewhere, and it's like, yeah, it did, but it linked it together so well that it made it better here. This game is the better Sonic Forces, and it's only like 2 levels long. So, I think that's something to talk about there, in my honest opinion. Sunset Heights here works. Doesn't work in Forces, but it works here. And I think that's something worth talking about. Alright, we got one more Forces level, and then I believe it's on to the challenges. Here's a new gimmick. We've got something we have to hit with the Chaos Spear, the Doom Spear. Our first, second instant of the Doom Surf. And here we go, bringing in more mechanics from Sonic Forces, but then doing them properly. Same with that enemy. I don't know, it's so much better. I can say that I'm actually having fun with this. And that, I feel, is the difference. Like, this level design is more than just hold forward. I cannot win this by just holding forward. I think it goes back to what we talked about earlier, being the fact that some people are upset about Sonic games not just being hold forward, and I find that the thought process of basically wanting less game, all because you can go fast, is backwards from the... It's working backwards from what Sonic is, I feel. And people can have different opinions from me. If they want a linear game, so be it. I just like Sonic games with some choices, even if those choices are as minor as left or right. Down and around. This is a fun set piece. See, that's where a stage would end in Forces. That little bit there. Meanwhile, here it knows that it should keep going. We've got water hazards because it's a sewer. Just the idea that the idea of keeping the bad games in the past seems silly to me. And I think this makes the perfect case for it. That even bad video games deserve to be remade in a way that makes them better. They deserve a chance to be looked at as one of the greats. How many of you out there played Devil May Cry DMC for PS3? How many of you guys played the Definitive Edition on PlayStation 4 and enjoyed yourself? And that right there is the question I want to ask. How many hated DMC Devil May Cry? Still didn't fully, love the Definitive Edition that they put out, but had more fun with it. And that's something I feel is worth talking about, because that's taking a game that people didn't like, didn't enjoy, and making the best out of it. Making it into a game that people really want to play and it's worth talking about. And I think Sonic Forces deserves that chance, but I don't think it deserves that chance right now. I feel like if Sonic Team remade Sonic Forces into a better game today and released it like in 2 years or 3 years, I still wouldn't buy it. I feel like I would need like a couple of console generations, or at least a good 2 decades, before I can really feel like remaking Forces into a game that's more worth it is worth it for me personally. But who knows? People on this channel are crazy and love watching me play Sonic, so be it. Time for the part of the game everybody wants.
Maria.
Shadow!
I love this face. He steps back, he's real concerned. He's conflicted about wanting to see Gerald.
They must be from a point in time before the Ark disaster. Perhaps I can change their fate.
Shadow? You look grim. Are you alright?
I'll be fine. We'll all be fine. Find somewhere safe to hide. I'll take care of everything.
Oh, man. Gerald's already onto it, that Shadow's not from this time. Shadow's not the same Shadow that they know. Maria doesn't quite know yet, but... when did we become so strong and confident? Be careful, those aliens are fearsome.
Shadow! Shadow.
Shadow was just starting to like all the staff and stuff on the Ark. Damn. Oh, dang.
Shadow.
So, Gerald just wants to study the anomaly. I do think it's funny that if Eggman would have just walked a good ways with the Time Eater from one end to the other in the white space, he could have talked to Gerald. He could have gotten to know his grandfather. Alright, before we do that, I want to talk about this, because this is a challenge. They're littered throughout the overworld, and all you gotta do is, get a certain amount of rings, get to one point and the other, in the amount of time that you're given. They despawn a bunch of stuff on the overworld, and all you gotta do is, well, get to the end and do it. It can be a little tricky at first. I have done all of them, both the hard versions and the normal versions. They're pretty fun, but be careful, because they are rather tricky. Alright, so up we go to some more challenges. I'm not sure how long we're going to go today. I know I mentioned earlier that I would be willing to do the whole game in one run. Just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. Hey, Liam! Everybody's been worried about you. Bit of funeral laden. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Liam. Well, I'm glad that you're okay. Everybody in the Discord's been real worried about you. But I'm glad you're able to make it to today's stream. I hope you watched yesterday's video, and I hope it brought you some joy. Speaking of funerals, we just got done talking to Maria for, from Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Adventure 2. And she'll probably be in the third Sonic movie. You know. Sonic lore, just as grim as you want it. But happy Halloween. It's good to see that you're okay. Everybody in the Discord's been a little worried about you. I know it hasn't just been me. Especially since I've finally cleared up the schedule with the fursuits and stuff, but... Fantastic to hear from you. I'm glad you're at least okay. Hopefully I can bring you some joy today. Let's see, what kind of art to be unlocked? Super Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog music. So who doesn't like Shadow the Hedgehog music? Alright, we're gonna enter in through here. And on up.
Out of my way.
There's that. I do like that there's a remix here of there's a nice, like, calming yet distressing remix for the hub world here of one of Shadow's main themes. For some reason I can't think of it now. Can't think of the name of it now. Probably part of being sick, so it'll be alright. I'll get over it. But yeah, no, I'm really glad to say that the Shadow Generation side of this game is just phenomenal. Alright, now we gotta get the keys for the the next boss up here. Toss up, boss up. I'll start with Kingdom Valley and then work our way over to Forces. Oh, it's this one. The harder version of this one is insane. If you ever want to see a really difficult challenge that's difficult without much rhyme or reason, oh man. The hard mode version of this challenge is crazy. The game's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna crush you a lot, and that's the game. And it's great. Oh. I like that we got redone versions of the Eggman robots here from this game, from Sonic 06. I do really feel like they should remake 06. They've got all the assets here for, like, parts of the hub, two parts of the hub world. The flaming future of Crisis City. Some of the bosses. Like, there's just so much already done for them. They just gotta make the game. Hopefully you'll get some candy tonight. Oh, I'm sure you'll get some candy tonight, Liam. Just remember, depression doesn't have to last forever. You'll make it through it. Once again, I'm trying my best to keep things light and friendly here. If I can bring somebody's day a little better by playing some Shadow, it'll be good enough for me. to do was beat 30 enemies. He did 36. Just like that. A to an S. I'm honestly a little curious how much longer or shorter this is gonna be. So beating these enemies up here will give you parts of Gerald's journal. You don't get all the pages, you don't get everything spelled out for you as to what he researched, but we finally have confirmation that it was in fact Gerald's journal that Eggman was looking at for the Iblis and Ifrit for Sonic 06 and Sonic Rivals 2. We got confirmation that how the Bio Lizard was made. It was just a normal lizard at first. Really cute one too. We get a good cute photo of it. But yeah. We didn't get very many there. Ah, we didn't quite get the S right. Oh, man. Yeah, trick-or-treats tonight. I believe my roommates just left for that about an hour ago. They, are doing Fursuit, running out there. I honestly... Okay. And excuse my thought process here. I understand that anyone can do anything as long as they're not hurting anybody. But I've always seen trick-or-treat and Halloween. Once you turn an adult, you can pass out candy, but the adults tend to frown on it if you're out there getting candy. And for me personally, I think it brings more of a weird factor in for some of the kids that are doing it. Like, they're doing trick-or-treat on Halloween. Once you get past, you know, 16, 17, 18, it's alright if you guys disagree. I don't care what people do. Halloween parties, whatnot, I just don't. I don't care, one way or another. I'm just saying my thought, because once I turned like 17, I didn't get enough rings. So that's just my thought, my concerns. So my roommates are out there doing trick-or-treating. The one isn't really trick-or-treating from what I hear. All they're actually wanting to do is go out there, show off the fursuit, and have a fun time. But part of me is just really concerned that they're gonna go out there, and while they're gonna have a great time, they're gonna get a lot of ugly looks, and you know, they're not gonna have as nice a time as what they think they're gonna have.
This is the ultimate power.
I didn't mean to slow down time yet. Destroy my town. It was cool, like the first day, and then not cool when evacuated by boat. Oh man, I'm just glad you're okay. I know there was a lot of people in the Discord worried about people. My Discord got mysteriously quiet after a little while. And while I was around checking on it every now and again, I know that I was working on fursuits and stuff. Even Mountain Man, you know, was like, "Oh yeah, I thought you just quit and did fursuits now." And I'm like, "No. My plan was always to get back to the channel as quickly as I could. So that way then I wasn't leaving the channel out to..." I'm gonna scream at these hawks. So every time that I've done like a new stream or new video, like this whole month, I've been like, I finally cleared the queue. It's time to go. It's time to go. I gotta get everything ready. I was like, videos. We've got 2 almost done. What do I do? And then I focused and tried not to get sick, and then got sick twice. Like, I'm not feeling great right now, but I'm still going. There we go. Yeah, no, I'm just glad you're okay. I'm glad the hurricane didn't take you or anything like that. I'm glad you got some good photos.
That's it.
There you go. 102. And an S rank, just for good measure. Oh, I didn't grab the key from the other side. Yeah, no, I just hope I hope my roommates have fun. I'm glad everybody else is doing okay. I'm glad that Sonic X Shadow Generations came out and is actually good. That was a huge worry for a lot of people. But no, I'm just more glad that my audience is safe and doing okay. Once again, it's been something that's been on a lot of people's minds. I remember Feb and Nox were really worried about you. I'm very much looking forward to the game jam though this next month. I'm so excited to be working on a video game again. I can't wait to show it to everybody. If I can, I'm going to slip in some visual references to a couple of my friends and see if I can get them to play it for their channels and stuff. I know my bud Rick, I promised that I was going to make him something a long time ago. I was just out of high school. I was like, I'm going to make you a game. And then it fell through. I never got to finish it. I might throw him in the game just to be like, there you go, buddy. I couldn't get you in a game, but I got you in a game. As like a cameo. Oh, man. Alright, so this is one of the harder stages. We're getting to the point now where the game has ramped up in difficulty quite a bit. How would you like your wraps, Turkey or Shadow the Hedgehog? Who wants Shadow the Hedgehog turkey wraps? Or would Shadow be ham? No, I feel like Sonic would be ham. Silver has to be like vegan sausage or something like that. I recently found out what motivates me to do a bunch of stuff. This is gonna sound so weird. But I burnt through like a ton of what motivates me to do things in one afternoon just to test, just to see what happens. Because I'm like, well, there's a good chance that if I do this, I'll feel better. It's like, yeah, you'll feel better, but you also destroyed like your immune system by doing it just a little bit. But I was like, let's just see what happens. And the word Vienna sausage popped into my head. And the first thing I started talking about was like how fun of a word it was to say Vienna sausage, but also Can you call it a Vienna sausage if it's not being made in Vienna? Because, like, Vienna's a place, right? Am I losing my mind? Is Vienna a place, or is it, like, a thing? Because if it's a Vienna sausage, and Vienna's a place, can you call it a Vienna sausage if it's not being made in Vienna? And, like, that's where my mind was focused on. My mind was also focused on, oh wow, I just got done with scheduling with scheduling and figuring out how to fix my husband's alternator for his car, because we don't have $1,000 to get professionally put in. I have to do it myself. So yeah, donations are nice right now. I know everybody's struggling, but yeah. It's been one of those months where it's like, oh, good thing happened. Yeah, good thing happened. We did the thing. We got done with the thing, and now I can make the thing. Why is it so hard to do the thing? And then by the end of the month, oh god, the thing. New thing, new problem. That's about where I'm at, though. Reach the goal while avoiding the lasered Death Egg robots. Trying to figure out if that's my chair or if that's the door, because it's windy outside. I think I've come up with the answer of it's a bit of both. Hooray for strange noises I can like half hear out the side of my headphones. Alright. There's that one, and here's the other one. This is a challenge where the bell puts the music note on the other side of that tower over there, and the only way to get to it is to either use an enemy or really get good at movement. I'm trying to think here about stuff to talk about, but we just finished up the last... I think that's the last challenge for this one? Yep. I wish this one would get filled in a little more. I don't know. It just still feels empty. I'm gonna grab the key and show you guys the easy way to do this one, because, yeah. So when you ring this bell, the music note goes down. All you have to do is go down here. Use this. Now note you're timed on this. Do a double jump. There you go. Get some Eggman art. And a bolt. There's all sorts of goodies up here. Alright, now we're ready to tackle the boss. Trying to remember what the boss was for this one. Also getting kind of tired. It's not a good combination. I think the last time I went through here, I was like, oh yeah, I'm having memory things, probably because I'm sick, and then me going, oh yeah, I just can't remember things. Oh great. I might be 24 with dementia, but I also might be 24 with dementia. That's an old joke me and Casey used to tell at each other. She'd just forget stuff, and I'd just be like, yeah, maybe. The whole reason she'd forget stuff is just, like, general, like, forgetfulness and stuff. And no big deal. Who knows what the boss is? I don't know. Some people were like, oh, wouldn't it be neat if Infinite was here? Oh, Metal Overlord. Metal Sonic Overlord. Neo Metal Sonic Overlord. By the way, the hard mode also ups the difficulty of the bosses. So, somebody took a version... so when it does that, the hard is in parentheses. Somebody went, what? Metal Sonic's a what? Metal Sonic's more difficult. I haven't done any of the difficult bosses. There's no achievements tied to it. I should also probably mention the achievements. So, in the original Sonic Generations, there were all these neat achievements for, like, playing the stages and doing certain stuff. They removed all of those. There's less achievements here than there were with the original Sonic Generations. Part of them were just straight up given to Shadow Generations, which is fine. But they didn't split them in half. The game considers them one set of achievements. It doesn't, like... Because on PlayStation's achievement stuff, you can actually split up your achievements by DLC or game mode or stuff. Well, they didn't do that for this one. There's just 41 achievements when the original game had like 50 or 60. That power already belongs to me. Oh, great. Except I went and got right in his face and smacked him. We're already on phase 2. But yeah, no, I just thought that was something really interesting that I should mention. There's less achievements here for some reason. No real good reason. But that also means that this makes this version of the game easier to beat.
You think you can stop me?
Now, yeah, there are 2 achievements, one for beating Shadow's boss without taking damage and one for doing it with Sonic, but if those are the hardest achievements in the game, one of those was already in Sonic Generations. Having the Shadow one, all you gotta do is get good at a better playing game, so I don't know, I don't see it as that much of an issue. I just see this as an easier Sonic Generations. One thing I'm not going to mention here too much because it's not going to come up. The Sonic Generations side of this package does not play as good as the original Generations did. They mapped the homing attack to square, but that means that jump is also square, and XX is always jump and homing attack. So, and then the drop dash is there, and you can remove it from Classic, but not from Modern. So you don't want to hold X too awful long. And square won't ever activate your drop dash. It's just an absolute mess. So if you land on a platform while holding X for too long, you do a drop dash. And if you tap square while in the air, you'll do a homing attack. It's a mess. Liam says, good news, however, I have all A's in my classes, and I've only made 1 B grade in my assignment. Unfortunately, my... Oh, you were baller. Well, I'm sure you'll get a new drum set. And I'm glad you got all A's, man. That's awesome. More cutscene. Alright, so now the choice is the chat, because we don't have much of the game left. But do we break this into part 2?
Shadow, are you in pain?
No. I feel a connection to the symbol in the sky. It's the same tingle as my new abilities.
So I'll let you guys choose. Do we do...
Grandfather?
I made a Faustian deal with that monster to create Shadow. Now it seems that we all have
Yeah,
to pay for my
Gerald's
sin.
not too happy with it.
So my powers, that symbol, they're all connected.
Maria's illness couldn't be treated on Earth. I could better manage her condition on the Ark, even if her family didn't like the idea.
You think we can finish it if I'm feeling up to it? I
attempted
mean, I'm
to
feeling up
develop
to it, I'm just
the
getting
ultimate
tired.
life form.
I'm having a hard time holding the commentary for today just because I don't have any help. I was promised a bunch of help like 2 weeks ago, but then when the day actually came around, it was, oh, trick or treat, oh, this, oh, that. And I'm like, so I got nobody. Good, got it.
Through his DNA, the ultimate life form was born.
Destroyer Dalton says,
Black
what
Doom
up,
wanted
what
to
up?
make the perfect
Welcome, welcome.
warrior for him. So these new abilities are all part of his grand design. You two are linked by blood. As you grow in power,
So that...
you will either take control of
More
your
cars
mind
going by the
and
house
use
being loud.
ultimate
Alright, so
take over your body.
here we learn that Maria and Shadow are linked by blood, and Shadow's linked by Blood the Black Doom, and yeah.
Made me the ultimate life form.
Finish it. Also, seeing Gerald in 3D after so long is great to see. Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
Use it as my own.
It's also nice that it's more of a calmer, relaxed sounding version of Eggman. It fits. Alright, there's our new capsule pod thing. I need to turn the AC down to cold because it is getting really warm in here and messing up my thought process by a ton. Sorry, dear, I know you're trying to save money, but we have so much fur laying around from all the fursuits that it's actually really, really difficult for me to focus. Well, oh, the woes of being a fursuit maker. Alright, so this right here is Squid.
Calls to me.
This is the Squid ability. It lets us maneuver over this dark ooze, which the dark sludge is not part of Black Doom. Part of a different character. I'm not entirely sure if it is part of Black Doom or not, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not. Especially seeing as we're gonna see a character later on that's a bit more important. Alright, so it doesn't do a great job of explaining this, so I'm going to do it. It literally is just like, you can turn into Squid. You can do a reach. So here's how this functions. I'm gonna do this while I'm in a challenge. Turn into Squid with the first one. If you hit R2, you'll dash. If you just tap square on those, you will reach and dash into it. If you hold, you will begin doing a swing. When in a swing, the minute you let go, you'll zip upwards in whatever direction you're going. The Squid is very easy to control once you get a grasp on the fact that it is a slingshot. So, if you're ever at all like, why is Squid so bad? I saw somebody complaining that the next level that we're gonna play is their least favorite and was like, this game's so bad, yada yada. This is the worst stage. It's worse than the Sonic Colors level. It's long. It takes forever. And it's like, no. You are misunderstanding how to use the power up. So you'll never understand it because you're not trying to. I did all the challenges, so my first thing that I was trying to do was actually understand how all these power-ups worked. Because, well, these power-ups are rather important to being good at the game. And because of that, I was able to do crazy stuff. Erican, now you're Squid, now Splatoon! Splatoon! Alright, so... We're about 2 hours in. I haven't said it yet. If you guys haven't yet, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot more than what you realize, and it's so simple and easy that, you know, it's free. Do it. It'll help. It'll help me not be struggling as much to put out content. Alright, so we gotta get up there. I'll be showcasing my 100% file in just a moment, by the way, once we actually finish the game. All I have left to do on that one is actually get all the S ranks, so... But yeah, this stage right here is the one that people were complaining about. And if you remember the Sonic Frontiers playthrough, you'll be like, well, why is Shadow here? Well, I don't know. But my assumption is that Shadow goes to Chaos Island somewhere in the future, and this has to do with the storyline they are planning on telling about Shadow, Chaos Island, and more Shadow lore. So, if I had to guess, we'll know in a couple of years. But for now, we have one of the most pretty looking levels in this entire game. Ah, dang it. Somebody's gonna be like, see, look, it's bad. I just didn't know which way to go.
No! Let's do this.
Alright, fine. I'll go the normal way that I know the path for. Yeah, we talked earlier about how momentum is saved and conserved throughout movement, and the Squid has some very strange movement conservation. I actually really think it's interesting because it moves a lot slower than normal, but you're able to like zip forward at such insane, at a fairly insane rate that it becomes kind of pointless to say otherwise. Liam says, it's been really nice to talk to somebody. I haven't really spoken to anyone, but besides that, started a winter garden. Oh, nice! Yeah, I hope... that sounds awesome. Feel free to post pictures in the Discord. Yeah, no, we've, and Liam, we've always been here to talk and whatnot. We're not just, I'm not just here to entertain. I mean, I've been building the Discord community just to help everybody. It's not just to entertain and give announcements. I focus a lot on work, but I mean, everybody's here to be friendly and whatnot, so it's a cool set piece. I wish it did more in the actual level. Oh, now we get to see the cool, like, underbelly side of things. This would have been a really cool spot to throw in the pinball machine. Up and over we go. Down and around. Oh, now we have a neat set piece. This took me a little while to get good at, but I gotta show this path. Yeah, but I believe if you talk to Gerald at this point in the game, he's like, I don't remember, you say you don't remember some of these things. Well, what's done is done. I think it's really neat that even, like, Gerald's like, well, the time stream might have gotten a little messed up. Like, who knows? We may never. That's why I think Sonic 06 Remake would have been really, really cool. I do like that there's not much of a variableness in the rate that it fills in the color. I know that Sonic Generations has this weird variableness with it. Oh, here's one of my favorite set pieces. We get to see the green backdrop of that one stage from this world, the hub world. I like that they chose a hub world and not so much a cyberspace level. I do think it's neat that the Chaos Sphere reacts like the with the cyber elements of the overworld, like it does in like the Psyloop does in Frontiers, but it probably says a lot more about the Doom powers and how they're made. Honestly, it's been one of the thought processes that's gone through my head the most while playing this game, is that I'm curious more about the lore aspect inside. I think that I find that funny about myself. I love lore and whatnot, but when they put intentional lore bugs in a game, like the game is like nothing but lore, I hate it. Five Nights at Freddy's, I don't really care for it, because they've shoved so much lore into it that I don't feel like it's trying to be a game anymore, and I enjoy it less because of it. Sonic never intended to have this much lore, and yet for some reason that is the part that I am transfixed on. And that'll never not be an interesting fact about me. Like, yeah, you don't want me to focus on it? You want me to focus on it? I don't like it. You don't want me to focus on it? Oh, that's the only thing I'm going to be interested in. And any nugget of working on it is going to be interesting to me. So every time I get every time they drop new lore about Sonic, I'm just like, yes, this is exactly what I came here for. Anytime there's like a new FNAF game or something, I'm like, how much more of a MatPat video, or how many more MatPat videos are we gonna see? And that's the end of it. I'll never not come to that conclusion. Alright. and that is Chaos Island pretty much complete. Oh, and another S rank down. And here we have one of the most interesting aspects here. That stage put us out at City Escape for Sonic's,
I found you, Shadow.
The blue hedgehog.
for Sonic's side of the game.
Places.
Something else to notice here. A lot of people were being
have
very,
something
very
I
pedantic
need.
with these models. That is apparently his models.
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
his
That
model
Chaos
from
Emerald
Sonic
and I have a date
Frontiers,
with a
not the
monster.
one from Sonic Generations.
It'll be
I
a
saw
date
somebody say it's a
tonight.
good thing because they look amazing, and I saw somebody else say that's a bad thing because it's not congruent with the Sonic Generations side of the game. I say it looks good. Don't change a thing. They should have been using the Frontiers model from the start. I do wish we could have played this battle. I understand why they didn't, because it would have made things feel out of line with Sonic Generations, but still.
Nice hustle, but I won this one. So I'm taking the emerald. See ya.
Alright.
I finally find you, and what do I see? Sonic defeating you. What happened?
I will beat him on equal terms, or not at all.
A fine time for you to be honorable. Now he has the Chaos Emerald.
No, he has a fake emerald. I'll have you swap it for the real thing after I'm finished with my mission.
Wow, look at you. As a professional jewel thief,
Okay.
I approve.
I love this section. I love that as the plot point. I love that they've found a reason for Shadow to still have the Chaos Control teleport powers, and yet Sonic still gets the Emerald and still has the real Emerald by the end to turn Super at the end of the Sonic Generations. I like most of Rouge's direction in terms of voice here, but there is going to come a point later on where she sounds more like a Valley Girl, and at first I didn't notice it, and then on a repeat watch I noticed it and it bothered me. There are just some parts where it's like, yeah, no, this works, and then there's other parts where, nah, it didn't work. And I think Rouge's voice actor is the only voice actress where I think she does a good job, but she doesn't fit the character. I honestly think the Sonic X voice cast for Rouge is actually a better fit for the character. They understood what makes the sound of, like, the sound of her voice work with the character. Meanwhile, I feel like the modern voice cast goes for this oddly stereotypical Valley Girl sound that fits better with Amy than Rouge. I don't know, though. That's just kind of my thought. So, I mentioned earlier that there was a well there, and, well, it's there. We've only got 2 keys this time to do. All we gotta do is get back up to Chaos Island. Luckily it becomes pretty easy. But yeah, I feel like Rouge is one of those characters where I am very particular about the way the voice is for the character. I don't know why, I just am. I feel like the modern voice cast does a great job. Sonic sounds great with Roger Craig Smith. I like the way Knuckles sounds. Amy is fine. Tails is probably the best I've ever heard. I like the way they're portrayed. But then we get to Rouge, and I'm just like, no, you did a bad job. You made a bad call. And it has nothing to do with the actress themselves, but the way that they portray the character. It's too... It's just too much in one direction. Meanwhile, the original voice was very down to earth.
All right.
Don't you support gamer rights? Of course I support gamer rights. I am myself being part of the LGBTQ. You goober, Sylveon. I see the pun, but yeah, no, I'm just talking about voice direction and for the character. I'm just very particular about it. Has something to do with me growing up with these characters. I just think they should sound a certain way, and that's different than the way Sega says they should sound. How you doing, Sylvan? I hope you got to watch the Tetris video we put out yesterday. Speaking of, for anybody just joining us, we put out a very lengthy Tetris video yesterday. Why is KS Island here or whatever? Well, Shadow is apparently going to visit it in the future at some point. It's got to be at least at some point down the line after Sonic and Eggman have visited it. But that is why Chaos Island is here. You've actually joined at just the right time to see a fan favorite character show up, and then I get to talk about the hilarity that is the voice actor for them, and I think a lot of my audience is gonna find it rather funny. The more difficult version of this one is pretty rough. Honestly, I really like this stage, so even if there isn't really much of a reason other than, oh yeah, Eggman just randomly pulled. I mean, there is a chance that Black Doom is for some reason connected to the end from Sonic Frontiers. That is a chance, since they're both aliens. They both come from off planet. They both know about the Chaos Emeralds. They both use different powers and whatnot. There is a chance. Well, I don't think Eggman knows that Black Doom's alive. My theory is that within Eggman destroying time, he didn't realize that him doing that would have erased parts of the timeline that would have prevented some characters from being, or some events from happening. So my honest thought is that Eggman has no idea what he's doing. Especially seeing as at the end of Generations, it seems very clear Eggman has no idea what he's doing. Outside of destroy Sonic. I mean, he is, at least from what I have seen, and you can gather from the context clues from classic Eggman and modern Eggman. Oh, now you're just spoiling the story. Shadow's not literally Black Doom. Shadow just shares blood with Black Doom. Younger than Master Zeke. Yeah. Just because... Okay. Let me tackle these one at a time. So, I think that Eggman is just gone completely, one flew over the cuckoo's nest, and is too focused on Sonic to understand that what he's doing is bringing back Black Doom, especially since Black Doom's kind of working in the shadows and has no real care for Eggman or Gerald or anybody else's safety or anything like that. So why would he care about some human scientist that they can outwit and outmatch with their own armies? It would just take it's just a matter of time. So all he'd have to do is work in the background and stay away from Sonic, which is the closest enemy they have other than Shadow. They want Shadow to get all these parts to have the rest of the Black Doom blood in him so they can just control him from the outside. That way then they don't have to ever even think about it. Shadow is not Black Doom. They give that as an option for him. Shadow the Hedgehog plush trailers. No. It wasn't shown in Shadow the Hedgehog that he was Black Doom. It was shown that Black Doom helped create him. And it's specifically stated here that it is they're connected through blood transfusion and the like. It's not so much that Shadow is Black Doom. It's Mephiles. Yep. I love this fight. I love everything about this. And here's where my fun fact comes in. Mephiles and Black Doom in this game are both voiced by Ben Diskin. Ben Diskin is the voice of Mega Man for Mega Man 11. And he does a fantastic job. And I would love to see Sonic 06 remade with this voice cast, just so I can then be like, oh yeah, Mega Man is Black Doom and Mephiles, and I can have my gag. Just like that, into the pillar. Alright. Rate his Steven Universe cosplay. Well, seeing as I've never seen Steven Universe, I'm gonna give him a 0 out of 10. Or a 10 out of 10. One of the two. You guys can rate it however you want. I've never seen Steven Universe, and I don't plan on watching it. Continue homing attack. Enemies, smack into Mephiles. Throw him upwards, launch him into a boulder. That's his boss fight. My throat is still getting drier by the moment. You gonna fill it up? Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. I had fruit punch actually. Yeah. Thank you. Alright, now all we gotta do is climb the pillar.
Chaos control. I might consider sparing.
Oh, now he grown into a monster. We did enough damage. We really upset him. Thank you so much. We're almost at the end of the game here, so I'll have to compare this to the length of the original Sonic, the Sonic Generations playthrough. See which one's longer. Using Tilted Towers? I don't know. What's Tilted Towers?
Freeze.
Don't answer if it's some online nonsense. Keep me in the dark if it's some online nonsense. If it has to do with a multiplayer video game that's some hit acclaimed crap that somebody loves, I don't need to know. Alright.
There is no future for you.
And that line is great, but I'd love it if the next game they remade is Sonic 06, just to really rub in that fact. That'd be hilarious. S-rank. I S-rank it every time. It's just such a good fight. We got one more Doom power to go get with our Doom gear.
Don't be frightened.
The promised time is nigh upon us, Shadow.
Soon.
Shadow will never serve you. He's nothing like you.
Gerald may have given him this unassuming form, but the blood of the
See, exactly. It's just blood. It's not actually anything else.
Yes, the warrior that will destroy you.
I have learned from our last encounter. There will be no mistakes this time. Struggle.
I do like that he's got the number of gems and crystals around his neck, almost like he's conquered other worlds in the past and they had power gems on them. Things that were like the Chaos Emeralds, but not exactly.
Professor, what do you think he means he learned from our last encounter?
I surmise you defeated him at some point in the future. He has grown a new body and used the nebulous nature of time in white space to accelerate his plans for revenge.
He's right. No more mistakes. This time, I will crush every last one of them.
Shadow, no!
The devil
Maria?
wants to become
Breaks my
Shadow
heart to see you so full of anger.
to achieve
This
his
isn't who
amount of
you are.
boyfriends. Maybe.
Do you
I don't know.
why I named you Shadow?
I'm not
Because
gonna
without
ask.
light, there's only darkness. But a shadow will show you where to find the light. Do you understand? I don't want you to be driven by darkness.
For as much as I like
want you
Maria
to
as
be
a
happy.
character, I
Stand in
don't
the
like
light
her design.
with peace.
This is actually something that I've gone into before. I don't think her design is very congruent with the rest of the Sonic franchise. Something about the massive eyes just doesn't work. I suppose I understand, but I don't know. I just think it's a little bit odd. Alright. All we gotta do now is Head back up top here to get our final power. And head to the final levels. These final levels are pretty difficult,
Calls
so...
to me.
Am I implying that there's more than 7 emeralds? Incorrect. I am not implying that there are more than 7 emeralds. I am implying that other worlds possibly had things that were like the Chaos Emeralds at one point, much like the Soul Emeralds existing. Which, by the way, my headcanon for the Soul Emeralds is that the Soul Emeralds were actually part of Iblis and Mephiles. And since they were broken up, they created their own gems. And that's how they were that's how they have the flame power and why they were stored away in Blaze's dimension. They couldn't come back with any sort of flames of disaster or the like, because they were stuck on a different universe, different dimension. Which is why they're so dangerous if they're on Sonic's Earth, is because when they're there, they have the chance to create Ifrit. The Doom Wings. The Doom Wings are neat. I actually really like the Doom Wings.
I feel complete.
Something's going on outside. But that's my headcanon for that stuff. I'd love to know if it matches up with the actual canon at some point. But I can't get much of a confirmation from anything. But my assumption is that there are emeralds on other planets and the like. Black Doom has conquered those planets and wears their emeralds around his neck as both a show of power and to showcase that even if you do have all of whatever your world's version of these things are, it won't be enough to stop it. Because in Frontiers we end up seeing...
I'm sorry I put you on this path, Shadow. But I'm proud of how you have walked it. I believe in you, son.
Shadow!
It's all right, Maria. I'm letting go of that destructive anger.
Yeah, my assumption is just that that's how it works. I do like that we see more Maria and Shadow interacting here, although I do wish we got to see more, because the way it is now, it's about as much as we saw back during SA2, and I think they did that because the more these two characters interact, the less impact it has,
Wish for everyone to have a chance to be happy.
and the more it would change Shadow, probably for the better, honestly, but to set this game here and then have forces directly afterwards, it makes it more difficult for me to say that anything from this game is really going to stick with the character. Just because you can look at forces and be like, well, he eventually just becomes the Edgy the Hedgy again, so what's it matter? And I don't know. But now our double jump is much, much higher with the Doom Wings. I really like the Doom Wings. It's easy to get S ranks with Doom Wings, and for that reason, they made it actually way more difficult to get that S rank achievement. This is something that I really, really liked about this version of the game, is that if you get S ranks with the Doom Wings, they don't count. You have to do it under normal circumstances, with the Doom Wings disabled. The only stages that count with the Doom Wings is the one we're about to play, because it's the only stage that requires the Doom Wings to function. If you hold down X, you end up with this nice slow fall effect. And honestly, this stage is going to be one of the hardest levels that I've ever played in a Sonic game, so kudos to that. Lost Impact? No, I mean that the characters' changes here aren't going to impact the series as much as, say, they would if this game were to have said, oh yeah, this shadow is from After Frontiers, rather than before it. Don't know how I made that. Alright.
I'll overcome every obstacle with this power.
Well, this stage isn't too bad. Honestly, I just think it's pretty difficult. But I don't mind a harder stage. I mean, I liked Frontiers. I like the Frontiers DLC. So I do feel like the Sonic games are sometimes at their best when they are difficult. When they're not trying to play it safe for whatever reason. So the only thing about the Doom Wings is they act like the Chaos Emeralds, so when you're in super form, so essentially, if you have your wings out, make sure you're getting rings constantly. They also drain, I feel, like a little bit faster than the Emeralds do for Sonic. Alright, well, couldn't get to lock on to where I wanted to go, so we're going to be going the long way. I'm also going to be falling into a pit. Luckily, this isn't too hard to do.
Out of my way.
All you gotta do is remember that your Chaos Spirit can lock onto multiple things, just kind of mash.
Out of my way.
You can make it across, no problem. Jump there. Alright, so this is where the slide shows back up. Again, we saw this once at the very beginning of the game, and then it doesn't show back up again until here. The thing to note about the slide is that when you are on it, don't start moving your analog stick until you're cleanly on the platform. Otherwise, you'll do what I did earlier and completely zip forward past whatever you're aiming for. You can also jump up high and land on some of that stuff. You can use that to build some momentum. Honestly, it's a little tricky to use though, but you can do it if you get good enough at it. I'm really glad I'm not doing a 100% playthrough.
Unleash the power.
But I will be showing off where some of the items are for this stage, just because it's a fun route to go through. Well, there's the last one, although I didn't collect it. At least I got to show it off. And I missed it. And there's that. You can't fly forever, so be sure to try to conserve your time in the air. I'm still surprised that they came back so soon. I thought they were gonna be out for like an hour. Maybe it was an hour. A little bit. Hey, my curiosity has been piqued. Why are you guys back so soon? I thought it was going on for a couple hours. So exactly what I thought was gonna happen happens. So you guys are heading back out at 6, or are you? Okay. I see. Yeah, I got a bad rank there. Not sure yet. Not really sure I'm feeling any of that. Yeah, I know. Well, up to you. I'm just... I don't know right now. I'm just not really hungry. Is the thing. Well, chat, we got an answer for that. My curiosity was piqued and then satiated. Shadow is trying to escape. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't have the... I wish I had a co-host right now. We can make reading the chat so much easier. Anywho. Up and out and around. I love these larger enemies. They just look really cool. Doom Wings don't do a whole lot else other than make your jump a little higher. I don't know if it really makes Shadow any stronger. So, as far as combat's concerned, though, I mean, it's kinda just exactly what's been there already.
Out of my way.
Like there's these little enemies that they spawn afterwards that you can use to launch up in the air and go a different route. once again, there's a lot of routes and paths here. You don't have to take the exact ones that I'm doing if you're using my playthrough here as a guide of any sort. Just remember, there's all sorts of different paths you can take. Now, to note, you also cannot use your chaos control here. You have to focus on just pure movement and skill of what you're doing. Well, I'm not holding right, but the game said I wasn't holding right or left, but the game said I was, so no rings for me. Are we in a mirror dimension? No. We're at the heart of Black Doom, I think. Well, that's that. B rank, not bad. Honestly, I think it's probably the best rank I've gotten on that level. I know originally I got like a D or a C rank. The stages are really difficult in this game. But here's the final boss.
The time has come, Shadow.
Agreed. Time to sever this bond between us forever.
Also, if this was the mirror dimension, we'd be seeing more Kirby's. And this is Devil Doom. The final boss. In the final form for Black Doom. And all you gotta do to get the achievement is not get hit, but I doubt we'll do that just because I've never done that before. I've only fought this boss one time prior, and that was when right before the game came out. And yeah. I am all of me. Oh yeah. There's the first hit. I'm kind of glad there is no chows for me to collect here in the Shadow portion of the game. Although I do wish there was more interconnectivity between Shadow and Sonic generations. Because the way it is now, I kind of wish they would have just fleshed out Shadow generations a little bit more with some more content. And there I got hit. If I don't get hit for the rest of this fight, I swear. Also, audio desync. Yeah, audio's been desyncing. I can't do anything about it right now. It's just how I have recorded it's how I'm having to record the game. I mentioned earlier on in the stream that I had plans originally for this year to upgrade my streaming setup and work on more videos, but then we got to the part where I had to work on fursuits, and it's been a little bit harder for me to do any of the things that I wanted to get done for the champion. Oh, dang it. Well, luckily it put us right here and not way later on. There's the last hit for phase 1. Zelda or Splatoon? Well, it's alright, because neither of those are as good as Super Mario Wonder, so... neither of those are as good as Mega Man 11, so it doesn't matter. Neo Devil Doom.
I have surpassed you. Time to end this once and
So I'm gonna silent, guys. This part of the boss fight is a little bit tricky. I got one more hit to do. Yeah. See, he wants to be one with Shadow. He isn't Shadow. Like, that's the whole point, is that he's not Shadow. He wants to be Shadow, but he can't be Shadow.
I will not be stopped.
And my controller finally died after warning me the entire playthrough that my controller is dead. It at least lasted 3 hours. I'll give it to him. That's a good long while. Devil Zero called. He wants the trademark back. Neo Metal Sonic called. He wants the trademark back.
Cannot deny what you are. We are one and the same.
And I thought we already went over this with Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06, but
Now, to end this.
I guess to reset the character back to square zero, they had to create a new square zero. My assumption was that some of the previous writing staff and whatnot, because they had only read that he's dark and edgy and whatnot, they really couldn't call upon any of the prior story elements because they didn't understand the characters. So, in order to create a new ground zero for the character, you have to bring back all the elements and set a new status quo, which I think is what this is trying to do for Shadow. I just think it's going to be harder because there's games that take place after this that butcher his characterization a bit more. So, I just think they're running. Yeah, this is a good job. This is a good game. It plays well. The story's fine. I just think the connections to the later titles is what's going to make this a bit harder for them to run with. But just like that, Shadow Generations is over.
Nice work. Perfect timing, too. Sonic is getting ready to confront the monster that trapped us here. If I'm going to switch the emeralds without him noticing, we have to do it now.
Very well. I leave it to you.
Okay. I'll take care of it. Aren't you coming? He might need your help.
I need to settle something first.
So yeah. I think this was a befitting Halloween-style game to play.
Shadow?
Go back in time, finish up Sonic Generations. Do it with a better game attached.
I knew you could do it.
Maria.
Oh look, they finally showed that Maria's sick.
I'm okay. Really.
Professor, what's happening?
Without Black Doom's influence, the time anomaly is beginning to heal.
See, Black Doom being
Returning to our own
put
point of
in
time.
to the time warp allowed it to
Stop
zip
Rouge.
through and
This
steal
chaos
things,
control.
steal its own things.
Stop this moment in time.
Shadow? No. I don't want to be frozen in one place in time. Besides, your friends need your help.
But you don't know what's going to happen.
I know I'll see you again. And if fate draws us apart, I will always be in your heart.
Maria.
You know, there's been that meme going around that Sonic fans will cheer for the death of Maria. I seriously find that so hard to believe. This meme is being made by people who misunderstand the characters, misunderstand what they love about these characters. And I think this scene perfectly shows that. The reason people like Maria is because they bring meaning to the reason the characters are the way they are. The reason Shadow is so edgy and dark and brooding is because he did have this tragedy happen so long ago. And even when he goes to try to stop it, he just can't. They choose to let their fate be their fate. There's no changing it. And that is both incredibly heartbreaking and incredibly more interesting than what some of the people have led to. I feel like if the third Sonic movie wants to lean into Shadow and Maria and Gerald, it needs to lean into why it is so heart-wrenching that this character exists. It shouldn't just be character there, character died, everyone cheered. That's missing the point of Sonic Adventure 2, that's missing the point of Shadow the Hedgehog, it's missing the point of Shadow as a character, and it's exactly what we got as writing from Sonic Colors until right before Sonic Frontiers, ending with Forces. I feel like this is a nice new Square One. It was a good game. I wish there was more of this rather than Sonic Generations being here, because Shadow Generations is such a better title. It plays better, it feels better, it's nice. As a game, Shadow Generations is solid. It's perfect. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy where it's leading the characters to. I like that it's setting a new status quo. I enjoy the story arcs. I like that we're seeing higher production value in the cutscenes, the music, the gameplay. It really remembers what makes Sonic good, where Sonic was at his best with storytelling, where he was at his best with gameplay and stage design. My only worry is how easy it will be to slip backwards, because it was very easy for them to slip backwards after Sonic Unleashed. So my worry is that Shadow Generations going to be the part where, is this going to be the game where everybody forgets it after a couple of years and the next team after Ian Flynn slips backwards? And that is my worry, because I like having Ian Flynn as writer. I like where he is taking the series. I like that he understands these characters. I might just worry. I mentioned earlier, please refrain from talks of weapons in my chat. I understand it's important to the story, but please. That's not my rule, that's YouTube's rule. I'd just prefer if the channel could not be bogged down by that. Please and thank you. I had to do this once before today, so not mad, just something that I gotta bring up. But yeah, no, that's just my worry. My worry is that we're gonna go backwards in terms of writing after this. I don't feel like we can. It is a nice new status quo. I feel like all of a sudden, if you want to understand these characters, if you want to understand Sonic, Amy, Tails, Knuckles, you can just call it the government. you can call him a bureaucrat. You can call it GN. That works. You can call it the UN. I don't care. Just don't call it what it is, because right now I'm gonna have a hard time talking about that with the political stuff going on. You can call that a pew-pune. You can call it whatever you want. Just don't call it what it is, because I do not have the time to deal with YouTube dragging my channel through the dirt when I'm just still trying to bring it back. My Tetris video is, hopefully performing quite well. I keep directing everybody to it. But I think I brought up everything that I wanted to say about Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow Generations as a whole. It's good game, great storytelling, fantastic level design, good hub world use. I wish it was longer. I wish there was more there. I wish it wasn't attached to Sonic Generations, because it hampers the rest of what could be here. But I think it's a fantastic title overall. We may come back to this when the DLC comes out, if there's enough there to make content on, but for now, that's this. They barely care. Well, I'm still just trying, okay? Sylvian Chan, I've run through a lot of different problems. In fact, you know what? Chat, I have run through a lot of different problems as of late, and I'd like to talk about a couple of them, because this channel is made possible by viewers like you. And I thank every single one of you for being here, subscribing, and liking and commenting. But believe it or not, a lot of the issues I've had lately have been monetary and problems. We had an alternator break on the car. We've had issues getting groceries. We've had problems selling fursuits, despite people claiming they want sales and that they want stuff. I've got 3 people watching, so man, it's everybody watching, the viewers at home, the people enjoying the video after this is live. I just wanted to bring up all of the problems that are going on, because guess what? Those are real. Those are real to me. And while I can keep doing this channel for as long as I can, and I will, I just wanted to say that I feel as though I have to ask for people to subscribe and watch and share these stuff, because I feel like perhaps people forget that there are people behind the cameras trying to do this stuff. And I'm trying my best here, and I'm losing the point, I'm losing the plot. I guess my point is, we have donations down below. If you want to see me survive another month, help me out with getting an alternator changed, help me out with getting the capture card put on a new capture card so we can get less desync, like what has happened this entire video. The donations down below would really help, and sharing the video around with friends, if you can't donate, helps it, because I'm trying to be able to take donations and advertising straight from YouTube, but I can only do that with so many watch hours and so many subscribers. So please share into my videos, watching them, seeing what other content I make. That'll all help me out a ton. But just watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, donating, joining the Discord, it all helps a lot. But you know, that's about it. That's about all I had to say about Sonic Generations, Shadow Generations as a whole. I mentioned earlier, I feel like the Sonic Generations side of things is very much a emulated mess. But yeah, that was this game. If you guys want to see me replay the Sonic Generation side of things, I might. Just depends on what you guys want to see. But honestly, 3-ish hours for this? That ain't bad. Here's my slot 1 time, just to show you guys this. This will activate hard mode here. Here's what a complete file looks like, and this is the collection room. This is what a complete collection room looks like. I'll show you off Gerald's journal and stuff. There's quite a bit here. Here's what I mean by Maria creating the shoes. The final message to Eggman from Gerald. The artwork and whatnot. I don't know how much of this I can get away with showing, but there's a lot here. Music, stories. I've literally collected everything, including all the bolts. This is what you get for getting all the bolts. But yeah. That's it. That was Shadow Generations. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have been your humble host. Good night, everybody.